the way it's projecting. Actually,
it's not, like,
I'll say it. I think that by the time the whole story's done, wherever we rank JJK, it might end up being around that tier, if not higher. I need answers for that, but I am excited. Frieren, if you watch the latest episodes,
don't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling it, but the amount of money you can tell, like when a company really like backs the anime, because these past few episodes, the level of animation has been JJK Demon Slayer level. Like they're really in their bag these last few episodes. I'm not gonna spoil it for Radell what happens, but these fights, it's like, okay, they're going crazy for it's not for no reason, but they're really in their bag, and I'm really excited for like the future of Frieren because it's already off to such a historic pace and start. But
Frieren might win Anime of the Year next year.
Yeah, bro, it's still ranked the #1 anime in my anime list. Like it's been like at least months. It's like officially dethroned Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood officially.
And when you really think about the storytelling and everything like that, it's still like it might be top 15 stories and manga I've read in terms of like just how well it's written, not like in terms of enjoyability or anything like that, but like and how well the story is written. Because like when I'm watching it, I really feel like I'm in their party because it's like sometimes the camera aspect and stuff like that, but it's like you're on the adventure with them and like some of the camera aspects and like you're really there with them, and it's really refreshing because it's like it's a different type of take on fantasy. So to me, it might end up if it keeps on going at this pace, because things usually fall off every now and then, but it might go down as maybe the top adventure manga / anime period. I definitely see it at least being top 5.
The way people are talking about Frieren, like people are like, this has revived fantasy for me with anime. That's what I like. Some big
fantasy
like,
and anime and manga is repetitive. It's super repetitive.
And for them to cover a part of a story where we always get glimpses back to Himmel's party where they're going to defeat the Demon Lord. But even because I'm all the way caught up on the manga as well, and we still getting glimpses. That's why there is a certain arc that I don't think is going to get covered in the anime. That when they get there, that's when Radell is going to be like, he's going to treat Frieren like he treats Attack on Titan, in my opinion, when they get to that arc in the anime, unless he decides to read it, because
I probably will read it. I don't know.
So it's just one of those things where I've never seen a studio so behind a project before, and and obviously I'm gonna use Mushoku Tensei as an example. Studio Bind was literally created to make Mushoku Tensei, but the problem with that is that, then Miles can tell you, sometimes their anime, at least in season 2, because they switched directors, their biggest problem with Mushoku Tensei right now is the animation quality. It's like, so there's some parts where I remember watching the old Looney Tunes cartoons and like, this is the rock that Wile E. Coyote is going to pick up to throw at Roadrunner. They have that kind of stuff. And I mentioned that in my review of part 1. But Frieren, it's like they're nailing everything, man. The right voice actors, the dub's great, the fighting's great. It's like, how do you continually knock it? It's like every day you pull up to the park and you don't miss. You like Miles in 2K 101s. You just don't lose. You don't miss. And it's amazing. And also the fact that they're covering a topic in fantasy that when other, I guess, series try to do it, they do it badly. Like the Demon Lord's done, but there's still problems. And they're finding great ways, whether or not you get good look at Himmel's, the original hero party, or the fact that people just like, can they just get together? Like Frieren's apprentice and Stark or whatever his name is, can they just get, their dynamic is so nice. Miles, I don't know if you're watching Frieren, but after you're done with Mushoku Tensei, go watch Frieren, because I put Frieren right in my, like, if I did a tier list, Frieren's right there, right next to Mushoku. So
I think it's way better than Jobless Reincarnation. Don't get me wrong, I love Jobless Reincarnation, but in terms of writing and everything
the only reason I say that's because I know the whole story of Jobless. That's why I'm saying that. So depending on where Frieren goes, we could legitimately have. To be honest with you, I probably anticipate it being better than Jobless Reincarnation.
I'm just waiting for the end of this first season of Frieren to get into some really nasty talks, because the way it's projecting. Actually,
Like,
I'll say it. I think that by the time the whole story's done, wherever we rank JJK, it might end up being around that tier, if not higher.
Honestly, like I said, I already said it. Like, I think I'm underselling what it means to overtake FMA Brotherhood in my anime list, right? Being number one on my anime list, and I know people don't really like my anime list, but that is a metric that people use to obviously go together. Like, okay, what is the series? What is the rating? The amount of series that came out that tried to overtake FMA and were bombarded and like lowered vote, people put like through lower votes on it so it doesn't get number one. The amount of times that has happened through like Attack on Titan, Spy Family, I feel like Demon Slayer got that too. The amount of series that happened to is ridiculous, and Frieren is still above FMA. That's how unanimously great it is. Like, I haven't heard a single person say it's bad. The worst I've heard say is that it's not for me because they want a more action series, right? Whereas
but then when you keep watching, then it's like
the action's great.
The action's great. There's plenty of action. They just want those people just want more action, like a JJK. But
yeah,
it's the flow of story. Like I've said this on Twitter. I made this take when I saw someone talk about Frieren. Frieren basically nails every type of story plot line that you can have in a one series. And I'm saying this from first season because I can kind of see the trajectory on a lot of different things. So yeah, Frieren's one of the best anime I've seen in a very long time.
I'll say it's probably really like in terms of new gen, it's the best balanced in terms of like dynamics and stuff. In terms of action, adventure, character development, it covered like. If it's a pie chart, it's like everything is like equally touched upon. So yeah, in terms of balance, I feel like it's also really hard to do that as a writer, just to cover every aspect equally and as impactfully. Like that's hard to do.
It's amazing. Right. It's amazing what you could really tell that the studio really took their time to understand what this is and put it and bring it to the screen where we say it's very rare where the adaptation surpasses the manga. Like Demon Slayer is the perfect example of that, where the anime adaptation is so good, people now talk about Demon Slayer like it's this great manga when there are clear holes in the manga. And Frieren is a great manga, and for it to surpass that.
No, as soon as Frieren beat Chainsaw Man for like manga of the year in Japan, like, because I don't think like us as Americans, like Chainsaw Man in Japan is a whole different phenomenon. Like they are obsessed with Chainsaw Man in Japan. Like it is crazy. It's a lot like how Bleach is way more popular in Japan than it is in the States, or how like One Piece is the most popular thing in France. Chainsaw Man takes over Japan. So the fact that Frieren beat out it for like manga of the year. And then immediately, as soon as it won manga of the year, it got greenlit for anime.
And the last thing I'll say about Frieren 2, which is also it deserves credit because, I mean, it's just the reality. It's cooking this much with a female main character. Like, straight up, Frieren, the main character, fantastic.
What do you mean by that?
Fantastic main character. Because most series we see has a male main character that lead the story. For some of the best series that exist. We can, when it comes to anime and manga, that is objectively true.
Name the best series that has a
I guess I don't know if you're saying more. I'm just saying that because I don't want people to take what you're saying the wrong way.
Because people get weird about it.
Yeah, I was saying like
he's saying like he's saying objectively like most manga and anime have like a male main character, but like Frieren.
It depends on the demographic of stories.
Yeah.
But in terms of like general popularity, like because I get it, because there's shoujo or whatever. In terms of general popularity in anime's depiction, most of the series that are really popular have a male main character. There's really not many that have a female main character that rise into mainstream popularity and mainstream success that I think Frieren is going to reach. So that's the only point, because like Frieren can enter in certain conversations, like Lani said, until some of the greatest of all time. So Yeah, it's really that
good. Because he said he's mostly an action guy. Like I said, like there's like a good balance. Because to me, it's more like a balance between like slice of life and adventure. So like, but they make a point. I notice like it never gets boring enough. Like as soon as you think like, oh, like if it keeps on going at this pace, it'll get boring. As soon as you start feeling that, there's a fight. There's like a monster that shows up that they have to kill. So it's like there's always just enough action to like keep you interested. It's not like something like a Spy Family where it's just like good vibes the whole time. There's like a lot, not a lot of fights, but there is like enough action, enough magic, enough stuff like that to like keep you entertained. Especially like these latest episodes where like every episode is a battle. It gets